Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Jeff the Pharmacist. So I was driving in my car, and I heard coming across the radio waves, a pharmacist in an ad about his pharmacy talking about generic Viagra. And if you were in my area and listening to that ad, you might have been doing backflips like Bob Dole did in the 1990s Viagra ad campaign. And it turns out that what he said was half true. I mean, there really is no generic Viagra. So just to let you guys know, if you don't know, a lot of you are highly educated pharmacy patients, but if you don't know, drugs come onto the market and they have a brand name and a generic name, and it doesn't mean that there's a generic available. It just means that the FDA requires a generic name for each medication that comes out. So Viagra is the brand name. The generic name is sildenafil. So brand names come out of the marketing department. They're meant to signal something or make you feel something, to be viral and lend themselves to word of mouth. And I'm sure Viagra has been extremely successful. I don't think, maybe it's not because of the marketing campaign, but because of the effectiveness of the medication. But I think Viagra is supposed to mean victory or vitality or something, and sildenafil is just the nerdy pharmacy name that we study in school and we use when we look up the medication. And so when the Pfizer scientists discovered sildenafil, they synthesized it. They were looking to treat high blood pressure because the medication relaxes smooth muscle cells or smooth muscles, and around your vessels there are smooth muscles, and a lot of high blood pressure medications relax those vessels to lower the blood pressure and lower the stress on the heart. So it does lower blood pressure in your in the vessels in your lungs, probably in your other parts of your body as well, but it's actually used to treat pulmonary hypertension, which is high blood pressure in your lungs, and that's an illness that has a lot of side effects. And they discovered when they were testing sildenafil that none of the male patients wanted to give the drugs back because they were using them and they got erections. So the Pfizer scientists decided to pivot in another direction, not towards blood pressure, but away from blood pressure and towards erectile dysfunction, which had previously been treated with implanted pumps, and I'm not sure if they had the little penile suppositories yet, but taking a pill, it's like the American way. So here we have Viagra, and we also have another drug which is to treat the pulmonary hypertension called Revatio, and they both have the same active ingredient in them, and it's the same active ingredient, and Revatio actually has a generic, and the generic has a much lower price than Viagra. So I did a GoodRx search, and GoodRx has nothing to do with me, but I like the product because you can kind of scroll through it and see what prices are at different places, and it's a good way to kind of get the general price of medication with a discount card, which is, if you saw my other video, it's kind of how you want to look at pricing of medications, like cash pricing. The actual cash prices are kind of this like weird world of it's not really connected to reality, but the discount prices are closer to what, for instance, closer to what like your insurance would pay for it. So not always, but it's closer. So when I looked on GoodRx and I saw generic sildenafil, the generic of Revatio, it's $19 for 30 for sildenafil 20 milligrams, and Viagra 25 milligrams, which is sildenafil 25 milligrams, it was $1,900 for 30 25 milligram tablets. So the discrepancy is insane, and the active ingredients are the same. The strengths are different, and they haven't been, like generic sildenafil 20 milligram has nothing to do with Viagra, but it is the same, active ingredient. So this is kind of what they're talking about. I wanted you guys to be informed, and if you are taking Revatio and your insurance doesn't cover it, there's also the discount card avenue for you if you don't want to wait for the prior authorization nonsense to come through. And if you're taking Viagra and you've heard about generic Viagra, this is what they're talking about. It's not an actual FDA approved generic Viagra, but it is the same active ingredient, and it's actually the generic for a drug called Revatio. So I hope this kind of clears that up for you. If you have any questions or comments, just put them in the comments section. And I want to thank you for listening to Jeff the Pharmacist. And please like and subscribe to my videos so I can keep the useful information flowing. Thanks a lot.